Today on Forbes, meet the Silicon Valley startup cashing in on school phone bans. It's post-Labor Day, and back-to-school season is in full swing. Martin Russell, a history teacher at Richardson High School in Texas, is a few weeks into the school year. He has taught lessons on the Gilded Age many times before. But this year, exploring the economics of monopolies and the tales of so-called robber barons like Rockefeller and Vanderbilt feels completely different. That's because 8 schools in the district have now implemented a sweeping new policy requiring students to lock their phones in pouches from the first bell of the day to the last. Before class begins at 9 a.m., 2,800 students file into the building with pouches open and phones in hand. Staff stationed at its 5 entrances check to see that phones are off and watch students slide their devices into the pouches, which were paid for by the district and issued to students on the second day of school. They then snap the bags closed, where they're sealed and inaccessible for the rest of the day. Students keep the pouches in their backpacks until dismissal, when special Yondr magnets placed around the exits allow them to unlock the bags and access their phones again. Russell told Forbes, quote, "The difference is like night and day. The students have re-engaged with me. They're asking questions. I'm not having to repeat myself over and over again, which I had to with the cell phones. They're working together, and they're not trying to escape from the classroom like they used to." The Richardson Independent School District, where 12,000 middle and high schoolers are using the pouches today, is just one in a fast-growing movement to get smartphones not only out of classrooms, but also out of school hallways, cafeterias, locker rooms, and other common areas that educators and advocates say are equally central to teens and preteens' learning and social and emotional development. The most popular technology powering this push is a patented $30 lockable magnetic pouch from Yondr, a startup launched in San Francisco a decade ago when the concept of phone-free spaces sounded, quote, impossible and crazy, according to founder and CEO Graham Dugoni. He told Forbes, quote, "A lot of people perceive the issue of phones in schools or phones in society and all the things attached to it as a genie that's impossible to put back in the bottle. But our approach is to say that it can be done." The volume of schools, districts, and states restricting or banning students' phones is surging as social media's unanticipated consequences and potential harms, particularly to children's mental health, are now at the forefront of the national conversation. Some teens report using social media, quote, almost constantly, according to 2023 data from Pew Research. Pew also released stats this summer showing that a majority of high school teachers in the U.S. say students distracted by their phones in class is a, quote, major problem. There are also concerns about cyberbullying, including teens creating AI-generated deepfake nudes of their peers, and privacy, as students fear being filmed and going viral at any time. Dugoni said, quote, "The best way to teach young people how to navigate the digital world is to at least give them 6-8 hours a day without it, so they can understand the difference. That's always been our approach." Dugoni started the company in 2014 and bootstrapped Yondr with just $7,000, going school to school in the Bay Area to sell the pouches. Today, with 70 full-time employees, Yondr has secured lucrative contracts across entire districts and states. The contracts vary based on headcount, from about $15 to $30 per person, but generally include student pouches, separate magnets to unlock them, equipment for storage, and in-person support to implement the system. Districts have reportedly spent millions with the company. For full coverage, check out Alexandra S. Levine's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.